Welcome back to Rails Minute. This is our effort to bring you short videos where you can find out more about what is happening with our library system. I'm Dan Bostrom, Rails Member Engagement Manager, and I'm here with Monica Harris, Rails Executive Director. Hello, Monica.
Hi, Dan.
How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me here.
Good. Okay, so Monica, there's a lot of changes that are going to be happening here at Rails with our staff, and it's very bittersweet.
Yes.
There's some exciting news to share, but also some changes that are happening. Can you tell us a little bit about what those changes are going to mean, and just in terms of our service and what members can expect?
100%. Well, after a very long search, I am so pleased to say that we have an Associate Executive Director in place. We actually pre-taped the Rails Minute, so I can't say much more about it today, but if those of you who are watching this will pay attention to our e-news that is coming out on Wednesday, July 19th, I promise there will be a lot more in announcement of that position, and we're really excited to share that with you. In addition, you and I are both wearing red today.
Yes, we are.
And that's because we're celebrating our very long-time Marketing and Communications Director, Mary Witt. She's retiring after 36 years of working for the library systems and more than 40 years in libraries. Mary is an incredible part of Rails, and especially the communication of how we share what we do with our members. And while we will never be able to replace Mary, we are getting ready to post for her open position. We're going to be looking for somebody who has a real passion for marketing and communications, who has strong leadership qualities, and really understands libraries and library members. So if folks know of anybody who might fit that description, pay attention to the Rails job board, and you'll see more information about it coming up soon.
All right. Mary, if you're watching this, we already miss you. We miss your commitment to libraries. Thank you so much for everything you did. Speaking of things that recently happened, the ALA conference was here in Chicago, and Rails had a booth. We also had a badge bling station, which was really popular with our members. So I'm interested in hearing more from you about what you saw, what you experienced, and for people that weren't there, what was it like?
Well, it was so awesome to get to see so many of our members at the booth. And so I really want to thank everybody for stopping by, saying hello, getting those stickers on your name tag, which was surprisingly just a great way to start conversations, both with Rails members who stopped by and so many people from around the country who were there to visit ALA this year. We also heard a lot of amazing feedback from people who wanted to share about a positive interaction that they had had with the staff, and wanted to be able to share that experience and how that impacted them, which I always love hearing. So that was a really fantastic thing. We did a lot at this conference. We heard so much from Rails staff who were able to attend informational sessions that they found really inspiring and helpful to their work. As many of you probably saw, there were more than 15 sessions that were covered by Rails members, which was a great reminder of the kind of transformative work that's actually happening in Illinois, and to really be able to see those libraries sharing what they're learning, and hopefully, moving that knowledge out into the library world was really exciting. I was on ALA Council for the very last time. If you're not familiar, ALA Council is the governing body of ALA, and it's a large group of people who vote on a lot of governance issues for for ALA. And that was a really great experience for me over the last 3 years. So it was a little bittersweet to have my last in-person council in Chicago, but I was really proud to have been a part of that work over the next few years. And we still have several folks in Illinois who are serving on council and making that work happen. Also, some really exciting announcements came out of ALA this year, including the FCC and the announcement that they made at the opening session about changes to E-rate that will allow for inclusion of Wi-Fi hotspots. That is potentially really exciting to many of our members. We also had great presentations from Heather Jagman, who was at that time the president of ILA. She got to get on the big stage and talk about the wonderful work that is happening in Illinois with our partners. And thank you, Heather, for the Rails shout out as well. And very excitingly, we heard from so many people from all over the country at the Rails booth and in the conversations that I had there about how excited people were about the legislative changes that had happened in Illinois. People were really inspired and excited by that. And I think the Secretary Janulius being there at the opening session to share that was a big part of it. it, really made Illinois look like the leader that it is when it comes to these issues of intellectual freedom, and that was a really exciting place to be.
Yeah, so staying on the Secretary of State for Illinois, the Secretary of State's office recently released a new website, bannedbookbans.com. So tell us a little bit about that. How can people use that? How would libraries benefit from something like that?
Yeah, so for anybody wanting to learn just a little bit more about House Bill 2789 and how it affects libraries and intellectual freedom, there's a lot of information about the bill itself and the history there. There's also a lot of links to news reports about the bill where you can read more about how those changes are going to affect Illinois. And there's also an opportunity that if you have a story about how book bans have affected you personally or your community, there's a place to share that information with the Secretary, and those will be compiled. So more exciting ways that I think things are really moving in great directions in Illinois, and we're really excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so if you have any questions for Monica or Rails or topics that you'd like us to talk more about, you can always get in touch with us. Email us at communications@railslibraries.org. Monica, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank you all for watching.